2003 NBA champion San Antonio Spurs. 2005 NBA champion San Antonio Spurs.
NBA title.
That's right, sir. Just about an hour from now, the Silver and Black are going to be taking to the river right here at Arneson River Theater as the 2005 NBA World Champions. And then they're going to head to the Alamo Dome for an unforgettable celebration. Good afternoon. I'm Fred Lozano.
And I'm Sarah Lucetta. We are broadcasting live from the beautiful and historic Arneson River Theater here along the Riverwalk in San Antonio. It is a wonderful afternoon for a parade today, Fred.
Wonderful. A little bit warm, but Chris and Joe Reinigal are in much more comfortable surroundings right now. Chris?
Well, the temperature is a little better. I'm Chris Maru with Joe Reinigal, but it's a little noisy here, Joe.
It is a little noisy, Chris, and I thought what was interesting about 30 minutes ago, when they opened the doors, it was a flood of people that came running into this building, I think.
Literally.
Well, to get a good seat, number one, but number two, to get out of the heat.
Yeah. Mike Abington, who runs the Alamo Dome, was telling us that he was going to let him in early if it came to that, and sure enough, it's about 30 minutes earlier than they expected. And Manu, a little earlier, walked across, and the people just went nuts out there.
Yeah, they've got the buses here to take the players to get the river parade started, so they meet here, they end here, and that's what you hear in the background, the cheering going on.
But of course, we're still 4 hours away from our ceremony. Sarah and Fred, you're much closer.
Wes, you're in the shot. Ours starts in just about an hour, about 55 minutes from now.
Yeah, but there are already, literally, we can see hundreds of people just from our vantage point here lining up on the river parade. It opened, basically seats were open and available for people to come on down and pick their seat at about 4 o'clock today, and that's when people just started filling it up. And you can see the anticipation and the excitement in people's faces as we are waiting for that first barge to make its way down the river.
You really can, and not only can you hear that, I think I can hear Chopper 5 flying above us right now, and Brandy Ralston's up there. Brandy?
Well, Fred and Sarah, it does not surprise me one bit that there is already crowded there inside the Alamo Dome and along the Riverwalk. Now, we're seeing a lot of traffic heading into the downtown area. A lot of folks all along 35 and 37 trying to make their ways into the downtown area. Right now, what you're seeing there, that's near the Alamo Dome. This traffic is literally backed up along 37 all the way to I-10 in both directions. The majority of the folks trying to get to the Alamo Dome for the celebration, but we're seeing a lot of traffic as well going into 35 along the Durango exit, trying to make their way into the downtown area because a lot of folks want to be part of the river parade and then head on over to the Alamo Dome. So I guess either way you slice it, you're going to hit some traffic. It's not as bad as we saw the other night, though. Not nearly as bad as we saw the other night, but still prepare for a little bit of traffic. It is moving smoothly, just going to take you a little bit of time to get downtown or into the Alamo Dome.
All right, Brandy, thanks. I noticed you called it the River Parade.
The River Parade. I mean, you're used to the River Parade.
That was a couple months ago, but this is like deja vu all over again, you know, as Yogi Berra used to say.
This is the Spurs River Parade tonight, and the music's going, the fans are all out here excited, waiting for this to get started. There are 25 river barges, each of the barges carrying a couple of the players, members of the Spurs organization that will be making their way down the Riverwalk.
Yeah, I'm not going to kid you, it is hot. I can't tell you exactly how hot it is, but it's got to be somewhere in the mid-90s.
Oh, it's a heat index.
I'm sweating profusely. You look
I'm
fresh.
Starting to.
Let's find out exactly how hot it is. Bill is somewhere down the Riverwalk right now. Bill,
hey, look, you know he's by an umbrella. Look at him.
I can just tell you right now, I'm under this umbrella. It's about 78 right now for me. It's not bad at all. And Fred, leave the weather to me. It's only about 90, if you can believe that. Now, downtown temperatures will typically be a little bit warmer, so maybe 94, 95 on what it feels like down here. But let me show you where I'm just on the other side of the Hilton Palacio del Rio from you at Casa Rio Mexican Restaurant. Fantastic spot along the river for the big parade. We've got people that have been showing up since about 3:30 to 4 o'clock as far as the crowds are concerned. I guess, do we have any Spurs fans over there? Look across the river at that. Lined up at least 3, 4, 5 people deep, getting their spot and getting it ready. So back to you.
All right, Bill, thanks.
Well, you know, a lot of the fans that are are down here are going to be making their way to the Alamo Dome later on this evening for all the festivities and the celebrations.
As a matter of fact, what happens is some people skip this event in order to get to the Alamo Dome because it begins to fill up so early. In fact, as we might have seen a little while ago, people are already starting to show up at the Alamo Dome right now. Chris?
Yeah, they are, Fred. I would say right now, Joe, what, about 10,000 people?
I would say so, Chris. That's about right. Yeah, and Fred was mentioning that they do that because they'll have the river parade on the Jumbotron here, so the folks can watch that as they sit here and wait for the celebration later tonight.
And I guess if you're at the river parade, you just go home.
You just go home.
See
That's
this
it.
thing at 9 o'clock. But we're having something of a party here, and we have to have Bridget Smith at every party. I think it's in her contract.
It is in her contract, and it just adds life to the party.
Yeah. Bridget, are you available?
I write that in the contract every year, guys. You know I don't forget. You guys say 10,000. I'm going to say 5,000 because we got so many people in the tunnel right now. How about these Spurs fans? All of these people have been here, a lot of them since 9 o'clock this morning, saying we can't wait to get in. They got a good Go Spurs going, and we're going to be with the fans throughout the evening because the fans, without the fans, this kind of party cannot happen. We got people dressed up. We got people with all kind of belts on and all kind of dangles hanging from their ear. And I tell you what, it's the fans that make this kind of party happen. How excited are you guys to be here this evening?
Oh, really excited. We got an interrupted dynasty in the making right now.
All right. We're going to send it over to Amanda Taylor. We're going to send it to Amanda Taylor because she understands what it takes to put something like this together, and I think she has a special guest. Amanda?
That is so right, Bridget. You know, the stage is set for the Spurs. Last-minute preps are being done as we speak. It didn't always look like this down here, though. They had a taekwondo tournament. If you came down here at noon, you'd see people doing taekwondo. So it was a quick turnaround. Joining me now is Michael Abington. He's the director of the Alamo. You guys had to act pretty quickly. Use a lot of Spurs spirit to get this place transformed, right?
Well, the entire floor was filled with wrestling mats and TV screens and everything. It was well planned out. Taekwondo people were great. They picked up their mats real fast, and it was like an ant farm. It was a beautiful sight, but we were able to get all this put in place for right now.
Is it ready?
We're ready.
Now, how many people would you estimate are here right now?
I'm thinking, well, there's probably over 10,000 in here right now. It's going to be a big crowd. Last time we had 57,000 people came in 2003. And we're ready for a crowd larger than that right now.
It is going to be a great crowd. And what can people expect when they come down here? What are they going to see?
Well, the river parade itself will be shown on our giant video screens and our quad right here. And so they're going to be watching a lot of TV. They're going to be doing a lot of screaming, hopefully a lot of eating. And about 8 o'clock, I guess, the Spurs are going to start coming in.
We are ready. I'm glad you guys are ready too. It sounds great.
Everybody in 2 mile radius is ready.
Thank you, Michael Abington, director of the Alamo Dome. For now, we'll send it back up to you, Chris and Joe.
All right, thanks, Amanda. And Joe, you were saying this almost didn't happen. Had they won on Tuesday?
Yeah. I mean, the game 5 was, this, as far as the Dome, you're right, Chris, because they were going to have this in the SBC Center on Thursday. If that happened, if they would have wrapped it up in game 6, obviously the SBC Center doesn't hold near the people that the Alamo Dome does. So, yeah, the public might not have been able to come, or a large part of them, at least not what they're going to have here. Yeah. It would have been more the season ticket holders and, close family and friends and stuff like that. So, luckily for San Antonio Spurs fans, they waited until Game 7 so we could have it in here.
And they'll just have 60,000 close friends. Fred and Sarah?
All right, thanks, guys.
You know, you've all heard the song, We're Gonna Party Like It's 1999. And as a matter of fact, it makes sense now because 1999 was the first year that the Spurs won their very first NBA championship. Today is all about celebration, but you know, they couldn't start planning this until they knew that the Spurs had won the championship. So to get this all together, it had to happen fast.
All right, and Marvin First is out along the Riverwalk with more on that. Marvin.
Hey, you hear that? I am not along the river. I am actually on the river. This is a river parade, right? You know, there's a lot of planning that has gone into this night just to make sure that this night is perfect for the silver and black.
Saturday morning, the finishing touches were being put in place for the Spurs championship celebration.
The finished product hopefully will look together. It'll be all kind of make one statement and basically get the message across that our city loves the Spurs and we support them, and we're very proud of them.
Sandy Karam did the decorations in 2003, and she's back hanging the silver and black again.
We want to pay the Spurs back for all their hard work and dedication to their job in representing San Antonio.
It's a spotlight on San Antonio's third NBA title and a chance for the fans to mingle with the champs.
We were quite surprised and overtaken by the fan support for San Antonio.
David Codwell is in town from South Carolina. He says this whole thing is something he'll never forget.
It's just spectacular. I couldn't ask for anything better. Now I'm buying shirts for my kids and my grandkids.
Now, I want to compliment these people for planning. These are the fans with the plan. They've been here since 1 o'clock. They've been here since the morning. They are here to celebrate the Spurs' victory. This river parade, that's what it's all about. We're live in the middle of the river. Marvin Hurst, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.
I think Marvin's enjoying himself.
Thanks, Marvin. You know, you still have about 20 minutes to get down here before the actual parade begins. As I was coming down here, Sarah, we came down here by cab. You might have noticed people were already starting to line up over at Crossroads.
And that was at about 2:30.
That was about 2:30, but they're still operating. And that's really a good way to get down here, is through the park and ride. And it's not just Crossroads Mall either. It's also Randolph Boulevard, where you can catch it. The shuttles are already running. The cost is $5 per person for round trip. The buses are going to drop you off near the Riverwalk this afternoon and then pick you up outside the Alamo Dome after tonight's celebration.
Well, don't go away. We've got a lot more coming up just a few minutes away from the start of the parade. We have more live coverage of the 2005 Spurs World Champions coming up right here on KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. We're live at Arneson River Theater, where we're waiting for the start of the parade to honor the 2005 World Champions San Antonio Spurs.
Chopper 5 is live over downtown, as you can see, as fans are pouring into the Riverwalk, ready to cheer on. Many thousands of them already here, and ready to cheer on their three-time world champion San Antonio Spurs. And good evening again. I'm Sarah Lucetto.
I'm Fred Lozano, and we first thing we want to do is toss it up to what? We're going to the
got other news of the day going on right now, so we want to send it back to Karen Grace with our top stories right now. Karen?
Hey guys, I'm glad you're tossing to me because you guys are jamming the most out there.
Music a little bit. The crowd's starting to get into it. As we said, a number of the Spurs already here inside the building, waiting to get on these trolleys, the Via trolleys, to take them down to the river, where this whole thing is going to officially kick off. And of course, we have it covered in its entirety this evening.
People inside, outside, on the river, at the heart, everywhere around the city. So keep it here. We'll have complete parade coverage, and of course, we'll also have complete coverage of the rally after. But right now, let's send it back to Eric in the studio.
All right, thank you, guys. I'm jealous I'm not out there, but we'll have more live coverage of tonight's Parade of Champions coming up in just a minute. But first, let's take a live look outside with CityCam, where today a cool spot by the river might not be a bad place to be, John.
Yeah, very warm out there, but nothing unusual for this time of year.
Cheer went up as Tim Duncan walked into the building. That Spurs PR guru Tom James right in front of him, and Tim is with the Spurs' third trophy. That trophy will ride on the barge with Tim Duncan, all three of the Spurs championship trophies. And there is, I believe that's wife Amy, who's, no, it's not. But Tim Duncan, of course, expecting a child any day now. And Tim's waving to the crowd. You can hear him in the background going absolutely crazy. All of the players have made their way into the Alamo Dome one at a time. Tony Parker got a loud ovation. Manu Ginobili got a loud ovation. And then Tim Duncan walked in just moments ago and got the loudest ovation as the Spurs prepare to load up on the buses here. Some of them are taking trolleys, and they will go over to the River Center, Arneson River Theater there, where they will load up and board the boats and go from there. But Tim Duncan got a gigantic ovation. He's laid back. He's got his own video camera even, and he's having a good time with the fans, and more players will come in just a few minutes. Until then, let's head back to Randy and Tangi on the river.
All right, I would imagine that the players are just as excited for all of this as the fans are to see.
I think so. You remember the pictures, and the pictures in the paper mainly so far of Tim, at least through the series, he's been like this or like this. But then you look back and some of the pictures of Tim from the river parades here. Yeah, maybe! And he's excited. And I think we also have some pictures of the parades from 2001 and 1999. 2003 and 1999, right?
That's right. Now, this one is the third championship, or right, the last victory parade, rather, in 2003. You can take a look there. Excited, the players, the trophy. It was fun. If you recall back then, a lot of the players had their own cameras as well.
Remember him? Now he's into management, I think. And that's the 2003. Oh, there's Tim, Tony. Those are the guys. Tony's one of the guys with the cameras. I think you're going to see Tim here in a minute. This is 2003 when it was all new and exciting. There's Manu. Remember, Manu was actually part of that team. It almost
short-haired Manu.
That was his rookie season, at least in the NBA. He'd already played over in Italy. We expect much the same tonight in terms of the route, in terms of the fans, in terms of the Dome celebration. And then I think we're looking now at 99.
Hey, San Antonio, you guys deserve this championship. You waited 26 years. Enjoy this. It feels good.
And, you know, of course, everything is always the best the first time, but I think Spurs fans have enjoyed each and every championship just as much, and I know this one is no different.
And I understand that Tim Duncan today quoted in the paper as saying that he felt like David Robinson was still a part of the team. David, anyway, quoted as saying he feels like he is still part of that team. Definitely an emotional ally, I think they put it, for Tim Duncan. If not actually on the team in person, he is definitely on the team in spirit.
Well, I think so, and I think David Robinson kind of set the bar high for the Spurs in terms of character, leadership qualities, a lot of, you know, everything a sports hero should be. I think David Robinson started at that for the Spurs.
We're going to talk a lot about that throughout the evening as we show you these guys, and we will be back right here in a News 4 WOAI special Spurs celebration in just a minute.
They did an awesome job. It was just really good games.
Go Horry. He's awesome.
Woo! Woo! The Spurs!
Way to go. I love Tony Parker, though.
I'm Don Harris. This week on Sports Sunday.
Behind us. How did you score these tickets? Because these at the Arneson River Theater, we're way in the back, but you guys are up front. How did you get in with the special VIP crowd?
Well, that's hard to say, Randy. But we got the passes, and we're here. We're with the Skyline Park Neighborhood Association.
Oh, okay. And why was it so important for you to be here in the 95-degree heat in the sun?
The championship. What else? The Spurs. We may never see this again, Randy.
Don't say that. Next year. Yeah. Have you all come to all of the river parades?
Yes, we have. And it's very good, very interesting.
And telling people out there what they should expect coming downtown compared to maybe in years past.
A lot of lot of people.
How many dumb questions can I ask?
I'm not kidding.
All right, thanks. From the Harrises to Don Harris over at the Dome. Don?
All right, Randy, well, we've got a crew of motorcycle police officers ready to leave the Dome. The trolleys will follow them over to the International Center where the Spurs will get loaded up on the barges here coming up at the top of the hour. And then when it's all said and done on the river, it will come back here to San Antonio's third rally. We've had some great moments over the years at the community rally here at the Alamo Dome, including Steve Kerr, who stole the show in '03.
A lot of people think that I'm kind of like the boy next door. I'm not really that cool and everything. But I've learned a lot from Jack this year. Thanks, Timmy. You want to get a good view of this? I've learned a lot from Jack this year. So I decided, you know, if I'm going to be kind of cool, it's time I started showing my bling bling.
Steve Kerr with 5 of his own, Tim Duncan now with 3. And you got to wonder who's going to steal the show today. Avery Johnson was the best in '99. Steve Kerr almost upstaged him in '03, but still there's a mystery. Who's going to be the Spur that will act as the team's MC? Maybe Tony Parker. I doubt it would be Tim Duncan, but I think the fans would love to see it be Manu Ginobili. The trolleys have left the building. We'll have Sky News 4 up over downtown, and we'll follow that caravan as they head down to the International Center. For now, let's head back to Randy and Tangi.
All right, thanks, Don.
All right, our Brian Collister picks up the tail end of the parade route, so he got out there early, got a good seat. Hey, Brian.
Tangi and Beamer, these are the fans who are going to wait the longest. This is the very tail end of the parade route. These fans here, they'll be the last to see the Spurs. We're here, and they'll be coming around this tail end about 7:30 or so. But this is the last of it. When the Spurs get here, they're going to go through this under Augusta Street and come out right over here. They're going to dock right there and come out at the Southwest Arts and Crafts Center. They're going to go inside for some media interviews, we understand, and then off to the Alamo Dome. But these fans are just as fired up as everybody along the Riverwalk and just waiting for their Spurs so they can show their appreciation. Back to you guys.
All right, Brian, thanks so much. You got to wait, but I know it's going to be worth it.
That's right, and Jeff Coyle gets to wait a little bit longer. Again, we're here at the Arneson River Theater. Takes, what, an hour and a half? I think it went a little faster in 2003 than in 99.
They're planning about an hour, but you know they don't plan on the response from the fans. The bands kind of slow down.
Yes.
The players get carried away and like to talk to the fans.
Speaking of getting carried away, Jeff Coyle, I don't know how we assigned the different places, but Jeff Coyle and Don Harris both got to be inside in the quiet, relative quiet, and the air conditioning over at the Alamo Dome. Jeff?
Yeah,
well,
Jeff.
It's cool in here, I'll tell you that, but it is not quiet. You'd never guess that this event is, what, 3.5 hours or so from now. I mean, this place is already filling up. And if you remember, just 2 years ago, there was a giant curtain behind the stage there, the same curtain they used to divide the arena for when the games used to be played here. Well, so many people showed up, 57,000 2 years ago. They had to drop that curtain midway through the party, and you see this year, they've learned their lesson. There's no curtain at all. They're going to fill the entire place, including the seats on the floor. 71,000 can be seated tonight. And look at this fan. This is Mary Lou Rodriguez. How are you doing, Mary Lou?
Fine, thank you.
She is a 3-year veteran of these championship celebrations, and you are ready, aren't you?
Oh, yes, I'm ready, and I'm all excited. Hoping to have lots of fun here. It's real nice and cool in here. It was so hot outside.
I know, don't make Randy and Tangi feel too bad, but look at this costume she's got here. She's got all the flags of the of our international players on her skirt here. She's made a championship trophy. This is your grandson?
Yeah, yes.
In the little Manu jersey there. And what else do you got? Tell us some about this.
Okay, I made this. I got this little teddy bear, Ginobili. And then this teddy bears here, I carry it to all the games that I went to.
Every game those teddy bears go. Lucky for them. So thank you for the good luck and enjoy the event tonight. Guys, we are fired up. It's going to be a blast in here tonight. Let's go back to you guys on the river, but come back to us soon. We're having fun.
All right, Jeff, we want to take a live look right now at the buses as they're leaving the Alamo Dome there. The players and their families and friends that are going to be on the barges are loaded up and headed this way.
That's right. If you're not down here yet, you might want to just stay at home, watch the whole thing on News 4 WOAI in the comfort and cool of your own home, because there are, I don't know, it's going to be 300,000 down here tonight. We'll have it all for you. Stay with us right here on News 4 WOAI.
Way to be Duncan. Humble guy, great guy. Did good job.
Keep doing what they're doing. They're doing great. They overcame everything they worked on. Injuries. I mean, they stuck together.
They did a good job. Great going, Spurs.
And welcome back to News 4 WOAI's coverage of the Spurs celebration. You're looking live downtown again. 350,000 people expected downtown. It seems like most of them are here already.
Yeah, I mean, it's just your everyday San Antonio party.
We have become so used to it. And over the many, many years that we've been doing this now, 7 off and on, Bruce Cates has always loved the Spurs and always loved the parade. And he is down there somewhere.
Very beginning of the parade route. Bruce?
That's right, the very beginning of the parade. And I've made friends with about 50,000 people out here. We've had ourselves a real good time. That's Commerce and Losoya. I've seen people dressed in formal wear, haven't figured that one out yet, to cutoffs. But they're all getting here to get the best seat of the house, which is right along the river at Commerce and Losoya. People gathered out there already ready to go. And as they wait for the parade, they're remembering their best moments. Now, what was your name?
Gabriel.
Gabriel, what was your best favorite moment of that 7-game series?
Oh, Robert Ory's Monster Dunk in Game 5, definitely.
Oh, you called him Robert Ory as opposed to?
Big Shot Bob.
Thank you. He hates that, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Be sure to yell that at him. Be sure to yell that at him when he comes by, okay?
Oh, I'll do that. I'll do
that was a big. And your name?
It's Alicia.
All right, what's the big moment that's going to stand out in your mind?
Bruce Bowen's three-pointer block.
Oh, the big block in Game 7.
Blocking. Yeah. Game 7.
All right, now you're going to be looking for Bowen, right?
Right. We're going to holler. Game 1.
You watch me. You watch me, and you watch us, because we'll let you know who's on which barge as they come by. We'll tell you exactly where they are. And there are a few people who are actually, listening and tuning in, and I hope you do the same thing and stay with us, because we're going to have all the parade coverage out here, along with 50,000 of my best fans at Commerce and Losoya. Tangi, Randy, back to you.
50,000 of his closest friends.
Yeah, that's not a bad place to be, but I think, Bruce, even though it's incredibly loud here, we may have the better vantage point, because the Spurs in the past have always stopped here and always talked.
Yeah.
So we're going to be able to bring that to you live. You're going to be able to hear what they say, and it gets emotional here. Remember?
It is. You get excited for them. We all think of them as family. I mean, San Antonio is one big small town, and I think for the people that are here, these are their family members.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see Tim with his baby on the way.
Yeah.
And him, having kind of an up-and-down series. And finally now with the national media coming around, and instead of timid Tim and soft Tim, it's the man Tim.
And you bring up a good point. An up-and-down series at the time when his wife's baby, it's his first child.
Oh, it's
you can only imagine Mr. Expert, what's going through his mind. I mean, he's had a lot on his plate this year.
Yes, he has. And those rumors about him and his wife having the baby on the day of the finals weren't true. But anyway, we'll be right back with more of the News 4 WOAI coverage of the Spurs celebration tonight live in just a minute.
They're just normal people, I think. And I think that's what makes the difference.
They paid attention, they tried their best, and I'm happy for them that they won.
And you're looking live again at the Riverwalk, where we are getting ready for the big party celebration for our 2005 NBA champion San Antonio Spurs.
And joining us now live, State Senator Jeff Wentworth.
We just happen to be one of the people passing by, and thanks for stopping. You may know better than others what this means to a city, to an area, maybe in terms of the economy as well as in terms of pride. What do you think it means? Everybody's got a different way of gauging it, to have the Spurs win a third title.
Well, it's unbelievable. We actually have just had the Texas Legislative Tourism Caucus in town this weekend. And among other things we did yesterday was to take a tour of the SBC Center. And one of the questions that came up was, what is the value of the SBC Center, for instance? What is the value to SBC for having names? You know, they paid $40 million for a 20-year deal. They said just in this finals, it's worth $7 million the one night. One night, Game 7, because it played in 215 countries around the world.
So can the city now charge them more for that?
No.
Okay.
Well, and that's something that the really big benefit, I mean, we all love it as locals having this here, but internationally, we have been raising the bar every time this happens.
You bet. It's been fabulous.
Well, we'll let you get onto your seat. We appreciate it. Again, State Senator Jeff Wentworth. We don't want to hold you up. It's first come, first serve here, I think.
All right, we're going to show you now the parade route. Here's a look at the lineup once it begins. Tony Parker is the first Spur you will see. He is on barge number 3.
And you'll want to check out number 7, Beno Udre and Brent Berry. And I imagine once that barge gets here at the main stage, we'll hear a lot from Brent Berry, don't you?
I hope so. And Nazim Muhammad, the big dog, Glenn Robinson, he's been around a few years. They will follow that on float number 10.
And big shot Rob Ory and Devin Brown will be on 13.
I'm still calling him Big Shot Bob. You can also then hit Mono Ginobili on number 20, Tim Duncan and Bruce Bowen on number 25.
And let's check back in. One of the other parts of this river is over where the barges turn around.
Right, there's Delane Matthew there. She loves the crowd. I understand I didn't get to see you closely the other night, but Delane, you love to be right in the middle of all those Spurs fans. Is that right?
Hi, everyone. We were having a great time out here. Look at all the people behind me. Check it out. So many people here. This is what's going The barges are going to come through. They're going to go all the way around here at the lagoon and then make their way up to the Riverwalk area. So it's going to be a great time. These guys are going to get a close-up view of every single player, and we hear their families are going to be on the barges too. But we've been having a good time. There's a guy named Juan over here.
All right,
Juan! Hit it, Juan! We want to see you rock! He can groove. Oh, yeah. Work it, Juan. Work it. That's what we're doing here, guys. Having a great time. And we're picking on the fans. Back to you.
All right, it's nice to see everyone all over the city having a good time, and really the festivities haven't even started.
Yes, and we just wanted to prove that we're live. We're here. Delane's
Let
live.
there be
We're all
no
live.
doubt.
It's very live. It's very loud here, but we're going to show you all the action. This is going to be fun. Here, I think we're having more fun than they are at the Dome, at least right now.
Well, yeah, this is the heart of it. I mean, right now, this is where all the action is going to be.
This is
After
where the
9
sun
o'clock,
is. This
of
is where it's
course.
hot. And where Jeff is at the Alamo Dome, it's cool. We'll get to him in just a minute.
We'll take a quick break and bring you up to date on everything going on all over when we come right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are live at the Honorson River Theater, getting ready for the big parade to start, which starts in about, 15 minutes or so.
You'll see it all right here. I know a lot of people out there are just thrilled that they are not down here amongst the throngs, amongst the masses. You have the best seat in the house right there. And right now, the best seat among us is Jeff Coyle over at the Alamo Dome and the nice air conditioning. Jeff, what's it like over there right now?
Well, Randy, these are just about the best seats in the house. This is the second row, about maybe 100 feet from the stage where the players will be, and they did not come easy, did they, Martha?
No, they didn't. We got here at 10 o'clock this morning, and we've been here since then.
10 o'clock this morning, and you sat out in the heat waiting to get in, pounding on the doors, I'm sure.
We were. Towards the end, we were pounding on the doors, just hoping that they'd open the doors for some air, because it's really hot.
Well, it paid off. You're in the cool. You got the seats here. And this is Sarah next to me. She's 13 years old, and we've been talking about the big question is which Spurs player is going to host the event tonight, is going to be speaking to the fans. Who do you hope it is?
Ginobili.
Manu, he's your man, huh?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because he's really good at basketball, and basketball is one of my favorite sports.
So you like to be like Manu, and I see you got the jersey on. You think he represents the city well?
Yes.
Great. So when they come out, you're going to be screaming the loudest for Manu.
Yes.
All right, we'll make sure he hears that. And we're having a great time here, Tangi and Randy. It's going to be a fantastic event tonight, and we'll see you when you get here.
All right, thanks, Jeff. And a celebration right there at the Dome, again, will begin, they say, around 9 o'clock, maybe a little earlier. It did in 2003.
And it's already packed.
Doors are already open, packed, and it is free. You don't need any tickets, but again, it is first come, first served, and you're not going to get a great
You may
seat.
not, yeah. You may have a
Maybe.
little trouble at this late date getting in. We want to check in with Brian Collister. Brian is standing at the very end of the parade route. Brian?
Where's the mic?
Well,
Brian, there he is.
This is the crowd that's waiting at the tail end of the parade. I want to see if Gino and I can go out here a little further. Can you come out here? We've got some folks hanging from the rafters up there from Augusta Street. You can see we got fans. This is the Augusta Street Bridge. All these fans are waiting for this. Is the very last spot they're going to get a shot at the Spurs. They'll come through here, and then they'll go down just a little bit further down and get out where the Arts and Crafts Center is, and there's a little media availability there before they go over to the Alamo Dome. But these are the last fans that are going to get their shot at the Spurs, and they're a lot of them have been out here for a lot of hours, but they don't care. It's their Spurs, and they love them. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Brian.
you know, for a minute there, I thought they seemed a little subdued because Brian Collister, the troubleshooter, is looking at him there. We have some code violations here, and Brian's going to point us out.
He's got his eye on the parade
He is a
route.
Spurs fan, and he's getting into it. I think he'll get into it a little later.
Yeah,
We'll see some emotion.
I was wondering if if you're under an underpass, is it any cooler than if you're standing out here in the blazing sun?
I have no idea.
Are there any cool spots to
I
be
don't know.
had?
And by the way, don't wear the slimming and summery black if you're coming down here, Spurs fans. Wear the silver.
We'll remember that. We'll take a quick break and be right back. We're getting close. And welcome back, everyone. You're looking at a live picture at the Riverwalk in San Antonio.
Look at that.
We're told probably about 350,000 fans will be
Right.
lining the Riverwalk for this parade.
Just talked to Monica Taylor of the Spurs. She's right up here, and she said that's how many it'll hold, 65,000 in the Dome. And
it feels like all of them are here. But the good news is there is a breeze for most people here, although not right here in the Arneson River Theater much. And the partly cloudy skies are now becoming a little more partly cloudy, a little cloudy, which is good news.
The later it gets, the better it'll get.
Right,
We'll
so
take it.
It wouldn't burn your forehead if you were, say, balding. And Don Harris is over at the Alamo Dome. I'm sorry, Don, with the much younger David Chancellor with the story from there, guys.
Thanks a lot, Randy. Hey, we're going to get at you before this show's over with. The fans here are a little restless. They've been standing in line since 10 o'clock this morning. They're going to be here till about 11 o'clock tonight. And right now there's nothing for them to do except wait for the rally to get here. So they're starting to do the wave, starting to chant, "Go Spurs, go." And if you want to come down to the Alamo Dome, there is still plenty of room. I would say we've only got about maybe 20,000 people inside. And as we've seen over the course of the last two rallies, usually about the last third of the parade is when everybody who's at the parade sprints over here and tries to fill up the upper deck.
So here's my thought on that. We're probably about halfway full, maybe about 40,000 right now. You know, another 20 are going to come from parade route. So if you're at home and you're thinking, I want to go down there and hang out with Don and Dave in the Alamo Dome and watch this, don't. Just stay at home. You can watch it on Channel 4 all night long. You got the best seat in the house. But for those who have braved the heat, as Randy has said, and the elements and the traffic, they are here and they are ready to party. Natalia Zaya caught up with a few just outside the Alamo Dome.
We're outside the Alamo Dome right now where we have a family, the Lewis family, who is very prepared for the heat and the line right now. So tell me, can you tell me a little bit about your setup here?
Absolutely. We've got a DVD player with the 2003 championship to kind of help us get motivated in the spirit. Plenty of water, some fans that also spray water to keep us nice and cool.
Oh, misters, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So, and this is Chelsea, 13-year-old Chelsea. Chelsea, tell me, what are you looking forward to tonight?
I'm looking forward to see all the Spurs players and Tony Parker and Monty Ginobili mostly, and Tim Duncan.
Did you get to go to any of the games?
We got to see the HEB where they were sponsoring on the TV.
Oh, so are you pretty excited to get to see them in person?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Great, great. And how about you? What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing all the Spurs. I'm a huge Spurs fan and have been for many, many years.
Okay, awesome. Well, you guys look ready, and you'll get in, you'll get a seat, and it's going to be great. Have a great time, guys.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Okay, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Natalia. The wave is now going around the Alamo Dome. Fans here over the years have been treated to some really special moments. Steve Kerr, we showed you, Avery Johnson as well. Who do you think is going to be the speaker for the Spurs team today?
Well, you and I were talking the other night. I mean, Tony Parker might be the guy. I know some people have already said Manu Ginobili. He's certainly the fan favorite. I think it'd be a hoot if Tim Duncan did it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Tony Parker is probably the best bet to do it, although Tony Massenberg actually is probably the funniest.
Or Sean Marks.
But it will be very hard as the wave just continues to grow. It'll be very hard to top the very first speaker, and that was
AJ. AJ, one of the best moments in Spurs history, either on the court or off it, had to be Avery Johnson's speech in '99, where he said, this next guy, we was having a chicken sandwich, and I said, are you qualified? He told, was it Mario Ellie, we need somebody. I said, we need somebody who's going to put one of these right in their mouth.
Typical AJ.
Here, let's roll some of it.
I was sitting in Houston, I was sitting down eating a chicken sandwich, and I told this guy, I said, man, we got a good team. We good enough to get to the second round. I said, but we need somebody to help us win a championship. And what I said was, I said, are you qualified? I said, we just need a little bit more toughness. We just need a little bit more three-point shooting. And I said, we need somebody who can just hit some big shots. I said, we need somebody when we playing against Allen Houston and J.R. Ryder and Kobe Bryant. I said, we need somebody that'll stick this in their mouth. So look, let's give it up for my man. We call him JYD, Junkyard Dog, Mario Allen.
I tell you what, that might have been the best moment in rally history. Steve Kerr's bling bling pretty good.
Yeah.
But that one was the best.
5 in Detroit, there's always a moment that stands out on the court, and as you said, and then there's that big moment at the parade, at the rally. Who's going to be the guy tonight? We'll find out in the next couple of hours.
All right, thanks, guys. And we wanted to show you a couple things. Parade's going to start here in just a few minutes. You won't miss a minute of it. We have it all covered. But we want to show you some stuff that only we can show you down here on the Riverwalk. Tangi, you have something right there, right?
Well, this is what all of the ticket holders and the Artisan Theater are getting. But you know what? I think you can get these at HEB.
Yes.
So this is the team photo, the championship team. So this is one of the things to look for.
But you can only get this downtown. And again, they're selling this with a poster. It's called the Parade edition of the San Antonio Express News. You know they've had a lot of cool headlines over the past few wins. Wow. And if you can see that, it says triple treat. That's a picture of Tim. And then inside the front cover, it's kind of cool. It has a picture of all the different headlines shoved aside, all the different headlines from all the different games. Victor's watching the parade. There's our photographer. Victor, look. This is kind of gives you an idea of what you can get down here. The feeling, though, everybody is just electric and sweaty and ugly but excited. Nobody cares. It's San Antonio. It's like Fiesta.
It is, and it's been fun to look at the crowd, all the fun Spurs gear. There's some new stuff out this year.
That's right. We're just going to take a quick break, but we will be right back with full live coverage of the San Antonio Spurs River Parade and celebration in just a minute. Stay with us here on 4.
Welcome back, everyone. We're coming to you live this evening from the Artisan River Theater, where about 350,000 fans are expected to be lining the Riverwalk.
And it sounds every bit as loud, at least to me, as it did the other night, Game 7, when the Spurs pulled it out 81-74 and won this third title in 7 years. It's amazing that we are spoiled. We're now expecting this. The media knows exactly how to set up. We've done it now 3 times. The fans know what to do and where to go.
But it never gets old.
But it never gets old. And as one of those fans just told us, this could be the last time in years and years and years. A lot of cities, a number of cities have never had anything like
well, you know, I am one of those that says we can start thinking about using the D word. The D word.
The D word. I thought you were swearing.
3 in 7 years? No.
I'm sorry. What do you want to say?
Show.
Yes. And I don't think we should use the word dynasty yet, although the Spurs, you know, they're young.
I'm
We're going to be showing
dynasty.
you them. I hope
it's in my thoughts.
And again, right behind us here, I don't know if you can see them, that's Urban 15, the San Antonio dancing and drumming group that's such a big hit all the time, every year at the Fiesta Night Parade. Catherine Cisneros and her group. Special Spurs outfits for this. And we caught a glimpse just a moment ago of the Coyote. And we're going to tease you with that. But you're not going to miss a thing. First, we're going to go to Delane, a little down the river at the Riverwalk, where it is also wild. Delane?
Hi, everybody. We're celebrating big time at the River Center Mall. I have 2 mics here. I'm playing DJ on one end, reporter on the other. Look at this.
All right, here we go. Let's do the wave. Yeah.
There they go.
Oh, yeah. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going.
There we go.
All right, bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
This is what we've been doing all day long.
Bring it back.
The West Side wins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
We've been having the best time. We're waiting for the players to come by. We know the parade starts soon. It's going to make its way all the way around the lagoon. And all of these people have been waiting here since 3 o'clock. They've been having a great time. They're just sitting and waiting, and we're playing and having a great time, making people dance, the poor things. But they're enjoying themselves. A lot of kids out here, a lot of family members. And they're really ready to cheer on their Spurs. They're so proud. Back to you guys.
Are you ready?
All right, thanks, Delane. That's what's fun. You know, this is like an entire party throughout the entire city.
Yes.
Nothing has really started yet, but we're already celebrating.
No, and I feel like we're doing a special service for those people out there who hate crowds. And they can just enjoy seeing us glow, in your case, or sweat, in mine. And they can sit at home and say, gosh, I'm glad I'm not in this. But, you know, I love crowds.
Yeah, they don't bother me
And I think it's a great time. We have our own kind of crowd over here. There's a different kind of crowd over at the Alamo Dome, and Don and Dave have covered that for years.
Yeah, guys, it's all anticipation up here, and now the Jumbotron is on, and I think the fans here in the Alamo Dome are going to get to see the parade on the big screen, and everybody waiting now for the barges to start rolling down the river. From what I understand, the players are now at the International Center getting ready to get onto the barges, and the Coyote is going to be the Grand Marshal, which is going to be great.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, and he's obviously the last couple of years has been a big focal point here in San Antonio with Tim Dirk and his story, so it's only fitting, kind of a passing of the torch. Tangi and Randy were talking about a dynasty earlier, Don. Are we looking at possibly doing this kind of an annual event?
We've got great practice now with the third one, but with Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker all under contract through at least 2010, I think we'll at least do it a couple more times.
2, 3, 4 tops, maybe. It'll be a lot of fun. More fans are streaming in. Natalia Zay is still outside the Alamo Dome. Let's check in with her.
Well, not all the fans here are San Antonio people. We've got people from El Paso who drove out here, the Navarro family.
Go Spurs! Go, baby! Go Spurs, go!
So how come you guys decided to drive all the way out from El Paso?
Hey, we are Spurs fans. They're 2005 NBA champs. We're here.
So is that how it is in El Paso? There's big fans out there because they don't have their own team.
That's
right. That's right. So you guys are representing El Paso?
We're here to represent El Paso, El Chuco. And we are part of Texas. Believe it or not, we are in Texas, and we love our Spurs.
Awesome. And so you said you've been here before. What's it like? I'm not from San Antonio either. So what's it like inside? What can I expect?
There's nothing like it. It's gonna be the biggest party you've ever seen and the best party that you'll ever be at.
Awesome. I guess that's worth the drive, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Give me a go Spurs, guys.
Go Spurs, go! Go Spurs, go! Go Spurs, go! Go Spurs, go!
Great. Thanks a lot, guys. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Natalia. The parade is underway. Let's go back to Randy.
All right, guys, thanks. It's starting to heat up because we see the first float.
That's right, and he's coming under the bridge right now. There's the Grand Marshal, the Spurs Coyote.
There.
He does. That's Wilbert Beasley and the Soul Band along with the Spurs Coyote. You know, the Coyote character was a big story this year with Tim Dirk,
yes,
the longtime Spurs Coyote, having some health issues, and then the community really rallied around him, and it's been great to see. And that last game when the Coyote also came down from the rafters on a rope, that was death-defying. That was like a real Coyote.
He's the Coyote. He can do anything.
He can do anything. That's right. Right there, you're looking at former Spurs player Mike Mitchell, and also on that float will be his wife, Diana. And Don, Dave, you know a bunch of these guys. These are some of the former Spurs players. We're going to have Stan Albeck, Jim Lloyd. Don, who's all there?
The Iceman George Gervin right there, guys, who's got his Instamatic out. And it's real refreshing to see Larry Keenan also on the barge. There's the Sugar Man, Mike Gale, with the hat on. Iceman next to him with the black cap on. There's Johnny Moore. Of course, we talk about the Coyotes' health issues. There's their most courageous Spur in team history, Johnny Moore, who beat Desert Fever and came back to finish out his career in a Spurs uniform. The Spurs have always kept a great family spirit with their franchise, and a lot of these former players still feel a big part of the team and in the community. Paul Griffin also there. And the guy leading the dancing is Larry Mr. K. Keenan, who for many years had disassociated himself from the franchise, but is now back in the fold, and we'll have a story on him coming up a little later.
All right, thanks.
All right, the next guy doesn't mean much of an end.
Oh,
look at that.
There's the trophy.
Tony Parker and one of the 3 trophies. And yes, we're going to look closely, but riding at the front of that float, right next to Tony and taking pictures, is a certain desperate housewife. It's not bad to be 23. win another trophy, and have a girlfriend who's on a big TV show. What do you think?
And, well, I thought, yeah, Tony's going to try and talk.
Well, Eva's there, and there's Tony's mom in the white hat.
Guys,
and Tony's got friends.
Take credit for setting that relationship up for the.
That's right. David Chancellor introduced Eva Longoria and Tony Parker. Tony's got 7 or 8 friends as well from France. Those are the guys we danced with the other night with the Only Champion, Only Champion, Only Champion. So Tony's got the largest contingent of family and friends in the entire parade.
It's on TV. Here comes the Grand Marshal. I just want to say you're the best band that I created. I'm happy to do it for the second time. Hopefully we can do that
They're going to do their song again for us.
Okay, Don, once again, you're going to have to interpret that for us.
Well, I'm not as good a singer as Tony Parker, and I don't speak French as well either. But I can count to 3, and that was un, deux, trois. Only the champions is what he's saying. We are the champions. And it all started on News 4 WAI's postgame show when Tony's brother was talking to us, and then Tony came over and joined in. But Eva Longoria a little shy about joining the festivities there. And so I would have liked to have heard Eva sing, but I guess we weren't going to hear that.
I think it's become a very popular song. It could be our second
I think so. And also, we have another great story coming through on this next float. This is some of the Spurs management. Russ Bookbinder and his wife, Tammy. Tammy's been in a wheelchair with MS, and their daughter, Jessica, and friend, Kelsey Simmons. Don knows all these people, and these guys, really, when they talk about the Spurs operations, these are the guys who put it together and got all the players here.
That's right.
Yeah, Russ Bookbinder's been with the organization since 1989. There's Lawrence Payne, the director of television, who does all the Spurs contracts with the television networks and the Spurs broadcasting. And then the whole barge there is full of people from the front office staff. I remember when I first started covering the Spurs back in 1990, there was about 14 people in the entire organization. Now there are over 250. There's Rick Pitch, the man who runs the SBC Center. Rich waving to the crowd. And then all of their family members as well. There's Derek Fox, who and his wife Allison, who are in charge of the Spurs Foundation. Allison is in charge of the Spurs Foundation and their children. And Human Resources Director Paula Winslow and some others. And I'll tell you what, they feel as much a part of this championship as the players do. This is a very family-oriented business, the San Antonio Spurs. Peter Holt, a great person to work for if you talk to people inside the organization. And I think it's a class act on Peter's part to let the entire organization be a part of the River Parade as well.
And Don, you were saying earlier that these guys, or at least some of these guys, also get a share of that championship money. Is that right?
Well, that will be the people that are directly associated with the team, the trainers, the strength coaches, and the public relations people like Tom James, Cliff Puchalski, and Brian Ficini, and those. The playoff shares are split up by the players, and they usually keep that pretty close to those in the family, right around the basketball team itself. There's the business side of the organization, and then there's the basketball side. So the playoff shares will be with those in the basketball side.
Right. Can you imagine how cool is that if you're, say, 6, 7, 10 years old and you get to ride on a float in the Spurs Championship Parade?
With the NBA champions.
Pretty cool right there.
We'll take a break and we'll be right back in just a minute. Stay with us right here on News 4 WOAI.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Spurs Championship Parade live from the Arneson River Theater.
And that float right there whipping by is another of the Spurs management staff, including head trainer Will Sevening. We spotted him. Don, who else is on that float? Can you still see him?
Well, Will Sevening just had a baby. Will is the man who keeps all the Spurs healthy, and he has had a ridiculously tough job this year with the ankle sprains with Tim Duncan. Manu Ginobili is always beaten up. So Will Sevening and the rest of that medical staff has done a great job in this, winning this championship.
And now on the next float, Rasho Nesterovic. And Don, you should pronounce it this way. Beno Udrich.
There's Beno and Rasho and Brent Barry. Brent Barry's waving his arm there. Of course, all the fans know Brent.
Yeah, and I imagine we'll hear from Brent. He'll take the mic, I would guess.
Brent Barry, one of the funniest guys in the NBA, one of the most dry sense of humor, and he's been around this league for a long, long time. He took less money to come to San Antonio just to have the opportunity to win a championship. So you got to, and you know, he had an up and down season, but he really came through at the end when the Spurs needed him in the finals when Tony Parker wasn't playing so well.
And his dad was also an NBA championship team, and you wonder if he was on a float kind of like this as a kid. Here we go.
He might have been. His dad was the most valuable player of the 1975 NBA Finals. Only the second father-son. Let's listen in.
Did you guys notice that as soon as I grabbed the microphone, Beno ran to the other side of the bar? Yeah, we're going to talk to Beno in a second. Beno, come over here, Beno. You rookie, you're still a rookie. Come over here, Beno. I'd like you to... I'd like to have you say in Slovenian some of the things that you're feeling right now, and then I'll translate, okay? What he said was, he had a couple of bad burritos last night. He's got an extremely bad gas. And he feels real sorry for all the Spurs fans that are here because they're going to smell it once this vote goes by. We love you guys. Thank you for everything. And yeah, we know it's him and the big boys are coming, but we appreciate it too. We love you guys. Thank you. Oh yeah, Rasho. I forgot Rasho. I'm not letting him get away. Rasho. How do you feel, Rasho? First of all, who do you have here with you? Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get your phone number? Rasho needs a date for tonight. Who do you have here, Rasho?
Just a couple friends.
Family?
No family.
Okay, Rasho will be out later on this evening, I guarantee you that. So if you run into him, keep him company. And thank you guys. Enjoy. Thank you for coming down here today and for all your support all season long. Thank you.
Don, Brent Barry could be the guy you're talking about who's going to be running the show over at the Alamo Dome. He's going to be here all week. Tip the waitresses. Drive safely, everybody. That's Brent Barry. Give him a big hand. Wow, he's a funny guy.
He is a funny guy. Quite a character.
Yeah, I think maybe we found our MC for the event here at the Alamo Dome. That's definitely the case. Rasho, always very shy, but Rasho Nesterovic is also a very funny character as well. You wouldn't know it when you talk to him.
Yeah, and you were talking about Brent Barry and him able to keep his sense of humor through what has been a very trying year, and you got to put yourself in Brent's position. He just wanted to come and fit in, and as he would say, not mess it up. The championship later, I'd say he didn't mess it up at all.
And Brent Barry seems to be enjoying this as much as anybody as well.
Oh yeah, this is his first time, right? He's been with how many teams? A couple of teams.
He played with the Los Angeles Clippers. He played with the Seattle Supersonics. He's been with 4 teams, and always with losing records. Let's listen in to Tony Parker, who's at the River Center. I believe Tony has the second trophy. Tony Parker has been taking the second championship trophy, the 2003 trophy with him. Tim Duncan's got the latest one.
And imagine the fact that he's 23 years old. He's already been a part of 2 championships. As we said, he signed with the team here until 2011. He could be carrying several trophies for years to come. He's taken a lot of heat as a 23-year-old. He's taken a lot of criticism, but he has persevered. He has been Pop's whipping boy, but in a lot of ways, he is Pop's favorite player. And it's been an interesting ride for Tony Parker, and it will be for the next several years here in San Antonio.
And that's what you're seeing on the left side of the screen. On the right, this is one of those infamous city council barges, but I don't think we should have any problems this time. There's no sibling brother act that we can tell who's who.
But they did bring a lot of their siblings and friends with them. That's a crowd.
They did bring along their family with them, but not to represent them, as we understand right now. Hey, while we're talking about Tony Parker, for the fans out there, Don, Dave, how long are those guys under contract? How long is he under contract? So we'll have him as a Spur.
Well, Tony's new contract kicks in now, 6 years, $66 million. So next season begins Tony's 6-year contract. And there's Nazi and Tony Massenberg and Glenn Robinson. And these guys, now this is a great story. Nazi Mohammed won a championship at Kentucky in college and then had a really rough go in the NBA in Philadelphia and some other teams. Glenn Robinson was a superstar in this league. The #1 overall draft pick, that's him in the middle, in the 1994 draft, and right there is Tony Massenberg going by as well. Tony Massenberg has played with 11 teams in 13 seasons. He's the Spurs' oldest veteran, and he started here in San Antonio in 1990 with David Robinson's rookie year, and he has bounced around the league and now back to win a title. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
This is KSAT 12's instant coverage. Parade of Champions.
You got to make a big stand right now. 5 on the shot clock. Ginobili to launch. Got it. 3-pointer. That was the dagger right there.
Manu Ginobili, one of the big reasons why the Spurs are in the position they are in, because of his great outside shot. More importantly, he was able to penetrate at will at times in games 1 and 2. He struggled a little bit on the road when we were up in Detroit in games 3 and 4. But I tell you what, he bounced back and really put the wood to it, so to speak, in game 7 to help lift the Spurs, along with Tim Duncan and Robert Horry for that victory in game 7.
Great spirit. Great energy, great enthusiasm, plays with reckless abandon. He does not fear any man.
And think about what he's been through this year. First of all, he got a new contract, $52 million. Then he got married to his longtime girlfriend, Monty. Then he won a gold medal at the Olympics. And then he won an NBA World Championship. I would say if you're marking down 2004 and 2005 on your calendar, you would say these were very, very, very good years.
Pretty good year. Very good year. And he'll be back, too.
Absolutely.
We love Manu.
There was actually danger, you know, for a while of him not maybe re-signing, actually going to Denver, but he met up with R.C. Buford and the Spurs staff up in Dallas on his trip back. He says, you know what, I want to sign, let's get the deal done. He didn't even consider Denver at that point.
Great. And he picked the right team, too.
Yes, he
did.
We
picked him.
Yes, he did.
Sometimes this stuff just falls together. It's like it's destiny. It was meant to be.
Our next barge is coming through is the members of the Spurs staff. These are a lot of the folks who are behind the scenes. They don't get the recognition they often deserve, but they are down here with us now tonight to help celebrate. And, you know, it takes so many people. I remember when this organization first started, they probably had a crew of about 15 folks that did everything from game operations to running the scoreboards to now I think it's up around 250 folks that actually do everyday operations inside that SBC Center. It takes that many and then some just to give folks a good game and good entertainment value between plays.
They put on a great show down there, and I was glad I was able to get down there with my media pass. But they keep you entertained even when the game's not on. There's something going on in the court. And there's noise, there's games, there's fun. They really do a terrific job.
All right, here comes an organization. Listen to the ovation they get here. It is the Baseline Bum. These guys have been the cornerstone of this franchise when it comes to fan support since 1973-74 when the Dallas Chaparrals moved to San Antonio, and they have been something fantastic. I'll tell you what, Larry Brown once made the mistake. Back before he was a head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, he said he liked everything about San Antonio except the guacamole. So the baseline bump got themselves a very large dish of guacamole. When Larry Brown walked out, they dumped it on him. That's how times have changed over the years.
I got a chance to wander around the SBC Center during one of the games. I just happened to pop out right underneath the baseline bums. And I'll tell you what, they're some of the friendliest people in the world.
All right.
Devin Brown. Join us.
Listen to the ovation here for Robert Horry.
Come on, they can't hear you, everybody.
I'll tell you, it's Robert Horry, his son Cameron, his mom Leela, his friend Steve and George. Also on the float, Devin Brown, his mom Ann, who's been with him at just about every game.
Come on, Robert. They want you to say some words, man. Come on.
Some other folks in there, but let's listen in as Big Shot Rob steps to the mic and talks to the crowd.
Is this thing on? Is that enough?
You're on.
What's up? I didn't do that. I didn't do that. That wasn't me. What's up, San Antonio? I hope it's not too high for you. Well, I'm glad we could bring another championship to San Antonio. But most importantly, I'm so happy that y'all accept me as one of your own. I know, because when I first got here, I go to a restaurant, I go somewhere, and somebody say, "Hey, you that Spur killer, right?" So I'm so happy that y'all accepted me, and I was able to come here and be a big part of this championship for San Antonio, and hopefully we can keep this team intact and we can do something next year and bring another one back to the city. So thanks for coming out. Y'all be safe, and we really appreciate your support. We really do.
Think about what he's been able to do, Steve. Not many people can attest to that. Guys like Michael Jordan. But, Devin also, let's hear from Devin. He is a San Antonio homegrown product playing for a team. He bleeds silver and black.
What's up, hometown?
Hey, I know everybody's having a great time. We had a great year. The last year didn't end the way we wanted to, but we brought it home this year. We're going to do it again. We're going to have a great season next year. We look forward to it. We look forward to seeing each and every one of y'all. Thank you. We love you. God bless.
Also on that float is Linton Johnson III. So for Devin and Linton Johnson III, this is their first championship ring as well. And Robert Horry, he says he's going to have to go dig out the other 5 he has, because he says he has them somewhere in his closet, but he's not exactly sure where. But he says because of this, he also has the game ball from Game 7 he took out. So he's going to say he's going to put it in his trophy case, and he's going to put it along with the 6 championship rings. And he also told me he is going to wear that 6th championship ring. He hasn't worn any other 5 he's won. He says he's going to walk around very proud, and he is going to stick that ring out.
He enjoys it. He enjoys the game. He enjoys the moment. He is enjoying himself right now.
That is just great. I'm so happy for him because he was so much a part of this team in the playoffs this year, hitting huge shots, those 3-pointers. And you heard him actually say he's actually gone from Spurs killer to a Spurs thriller. You remember what he did to us in Houston, in LA, but now he's now he's on our side. We like that part.
I used to hate him when he was on the other team.
Well, and you know what they tell us too? I mean, he just had a 1-year contract, and I think he wants to come back, definitely. Here is the members of the county commissioners. As most of you know, the SBC Center is built on county property right next to the Coliseum. So besides the county commissioners, of course, County Judge Nelson Wolf, who is tremendous for this city. I'll tell you what, a lot of things in this city and this county would not happen had it not been for Nelson Wolf. He's along with his wife, Tracy, and also the Coliseum Advisory Board members. They're on board as well. We will have more live from the Arneson River Theater and the Parade of Champions when we continue after this.
This is KSAT 12's instant coverage. Parade of Champions.
They're posting Prince. What a steal Third of the night. Baldwin from the corner. Deadly.
That was all from game 2. We enjoyed cheering that one on the SBC Center. It's part of the home court advantage here. Another blowout for the Spurs before having to go to Detroit for those 3 games. But upcoming next is guys who are really the core of why the Spurs are the champions they are. This is the head coach and executive vice president, Greg Popovich, P.J. Carlesimo, who, by the way, was up for at least 3 jobs during this offseason. I still think he's going to make a great head coach somewhere. Also, general manager R.C. Buford, who'll be on this float, along with just a host of other people who have helped really build this into the franchise it is
Can I
today.
just say something about game 2, because we started with game 2?
Sure.
That's the kind of game my wife likes to watch, because we were dominating through the entire game. And if we ever get behind in a game, she tears her hair out and says, I cannot watch this. You don't know if they're going to win. And I say, well, that's what it's all about.
The stress she can't take. All right, let's listen to the crowd as Pop and the rest of these folks come pulling up here to the Arneson River Theater. The head coach and the general manager of the San Antonio Spurs, Greg Popovich and R.C. Buford.
Head coach Greg Popovich. An amazing coaching staff, everybody. Give them a round of applause. Coach, if you will, a couple of words to the crowd, please, sir.
What's going on here today? I don't get this. We just came down to have lunch, and all these people are here. I don't understand what's going on. Hey, I want to introduce to you all again the wonderful staff that did a lot of work this year. Mike Budenholzer, Joe Prunty, Monty Williams, Brett Brown, Donnie Newman, P.J. Carlesimo. All these guys have been great and tried to do everything we could to try to be ready for a run in the playoffs. We never know exactly how it's going to go, but because we've got such a great group of players that are so coachable and work so hard, we were able to get it done. And I want you all to know that especially in Game 7, when we went down 9, we needed everybody in the bars, in the living room, in the arena, getting after it. And that was great. All of your support is really important to us. It fuels us a lot of times during the season that you don't even know about, when we're losing a couple in a row and all that sort of stuff. We love the fact that you care about what we do, and we're always going to love you for it. Thanks for your support. We appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a world champion coaching staff. Give them a round of applause.
He's joined by his daughter Jill on the float as well. He's multiple champion now, 3 championships along with Mike Budenholzer. By the way, he and his wife, Mary Beth, just had their 4th child. Assistant coach Don Newman, he took over for Mike Brown, of course, is now the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he's experiencing his first ring. So this is, and also you saw Monty Williams, a former San Antonio Spur, who's now basically an unpaid intern wanting to learn from Pop and his coaching staff to try and help him getting the coaching job somewhere down the line. Next up in our Parade of Champions, this is a float with the Southwest Business Corporation. Guys like Charlie Amato, who's a minority owner in the San Antonio Spurs, and his folks, along with Clark Printing, a lot of the corporations that help, of course, not only are they involved in the sponsorship of the San Antonio Spurs, but they're also involved in the board of directors and ownership of the team as well. I'll tell you what, Steve, these fans have been standing since this parade has been going. I don't think many of them sat down, just like it was in Game 7, right?
Some of the people have been down here since noontime just waiting for the parade to get underway, so they got a good spot.
All right, we're going to take a break, but don't you worry, there's a lot more to come live from the Riverwalk next.
This is KSAT 12's instant coverage, Parade of Champions.
And having won Game 2 by 21, the Spurs never trailed.
That was one of the biggest blowouts in this series, 21 points before the Spurs were blown out by 31 up in Detroit.
My wife's kind of game 2, not the 31-point blowout. I didn't like that either.
She likes the blowouts so long as they're in favor of the Spurs.
Exactly.
Right. Great. Well, that's good. What are your impressions so far of the parade?
It's great. I mean, it's kind of a repeat of what we've seen in the past, and it's very well organized. Everything seems to be moving right along, so it's going to be an hour long. So the staff barge is coming through now, and I believe we're going to see the owner too, right?
Well, he'll be up a little bit later on, but these, again, a lot of the folks you don't see behind the scenes that really make things happen for the Spurs. They're from everybody from corporate ticket sales to game operations, and Monica Taylor, of course, who helps us out in the public relations department. So and by the way, a lot of these people have not slept since
I
Game
saw Monica
7.
earlier. She looked like she was ready for a vacation because she's been flat out now during the entire champion.
Well, you think about it, the draft is just in a few days, so it starts all over again. Free agent signings, because thank goodness there is no lockout.
Right.
So the free agent signings start July 1st. So really, if you win the NBA champion, now let's listen in, because here comes Manu Ginobili.
Superman. That's what I'm thinking of. Manu Ginobili. Manu, can you say a couple words to the fans, man?
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, and thank you. You really don't know how great you are. We love it. We love it. Thank you for supporting us the whole year. Thank you for coming here. We just really can't enjoy more ourselves. We really love it. Thank you.
Steve, you see one of the trophies on there. That is the 2003 trophy, I believe. So that's number 2. Also on the float with Manu Ginobili is his parents, and what a great story you saw on ABC about Manu and him bringing out. Now let's listen to the crowd go wild.
Hey, Sean, we're not going to let you get away without talking to you, Sean. Say hi to everybody, Sean. I see you over there trying to.
Sean Marks now is going to talk to the crowd from New Zealand.
Thanks for coming out, guys. We appreciate it. Thanks for being best supporters, the best fans all year. Thanks for coming out on this really hot day. We appreciate it. What's up, little fella? He thanks you too. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. We love you, the best fan.
That is his son, Adon, who has been in every single game. So that's just incredible. You see Manu, Sean Marks. Manu, by the way, brought his mom and dad all the way up here from Argentina.
That was a
Bahia
great story.
Wasn't that a great one?
Did on Manu and his family, and his grandmother who's rooting for him.
And you see a shot now of Peter Holt. He, of course, is a Spurs chairman. One of the great reasons why this franchise has remained strong over the years. His wife, of course, Juliana Holt. And besides also Manu's family, also has his wife on board, Mani. He brought his parents, Jorge and Raquel, and his brothers, Leandro and Sebastian. And by the way, I think Leandro is the one that looks exactly like Manu. Kind of a little pint-sized.
Like
yeah. So we have another twin controversy at the River Parade. What do you think about that?
Is it the mayor or is it the anti-mayor?
So that was great to see Manu. I tell you, he's done a great job for this team, and his family has been able to come up here and share in it. There you see the general manager and senior vice president of the San Antonio Spurs. That is R.C. Buford, his wife Beth, who, by the way, played on the LPGA Tour for a while. His sons Chase and Alexi, director of basketball operations, former player. Also, Danny Ferry is on that float, and he's got a big decision to make. He has not made up his mind yet about whether or not he's going to leave San Antonio and become the next general manager of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he told me he's going to make his mind up in just a few weeks. Also, I think Lance Blanks, you've seen him on there as well. He is a scout for the Spurs. Also, he does some of the Spurs broadcasts. And, of course, he claimed to fame in college basketball as he played for the University of Texas. And there you see a nice shot of RC. He's done a lot of hard work.
It's good to see him smiling, Greg, because he is very serious. He's a serious guy.
Yes, he takes his job very seriously. You know, he started with Larry Brown back in Kansas days in 1988, and that's how they all got involved in San Antonio, because he all came here, and then they brought Pop in from Bona Pitzer as an assistant coach. So they really all got their start right here in San Antonio. So that is great news for them. They stuck around. Larry Brown has been somewhat of a vagabond, but you know what? so be it. It really left us with a great staff. Back with more after this.
This is KSAT 12's instant coverage. Parade of Champions.
Here we go, and it's knocked away by Ben Wallace. And Wallace with a jam, and a foul is called.
Boy, things turned dramatically, didn't they? When they went up to Detroit, they lost that game 3. Everybody was thinking maybe the S word, sweep.
Or they were talking sweep after game 2. I mean, you heard mentionings of that and said, don't say that, don't say that. And then came game 3, and it was obviously not going to be a sweep.
Oh, they came to play out there. They have great fans, just like here in San Antonio, very blue-collar positions up there where they work very hard. They like to play hard. They like to yell hard. So they pack that place. They really work them up in a frenzy up there.
They play the whole work theme into their routine.
All right, here's the next photo. These are, of course, city and county officials. Everybody from, of course, the new mayor of San Antonio, Phil Hardberger. Also on board is County Judge Nelson Wolf and his wife, Tracy, along with several city council members, including Roger Flores, Sheila McNeil, and Roland Gutierrez. But these are the people, again, I said before, behind the scenes. Guys like Nelson Wolf is good for this city because he sees the future. He seizes a moment to bring in businesses and sporting events to help keep this city and county vibrant, and one of the reasons why we're celebrating also a 3rd NBA championship. And now, here's what we've been waiting for, Steve Brown. It is Tim Duncan, the NBA Finals MVP and another world champion. 3 for 3, not bad.
Tim VT Bruce Bowen with his wife Yardley and some family members too. That is the trophy there you see in front of Tim Duncan. That's the actual trophy.
Shouts of MVP as they pass the mic to Tim and Bruce to say a few words to this crowd. But I tell you what, both of those, by the way, Tim and Bruce share something else other than an NBA championship ring now. They also share the fact they're both about to become fathers for the first time.
San Antonio! I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for you guys being the best fans in the NBA. You all don't know how it felt right before Game 7. It was kind of quiet when we were shooting earlier out there. We go back in the locker room as we started to come out. You guys gave us so much energy. It was incredible, and we truly thank you for that. So I think I've said enough. I think we need to hear something from the 3-time MVP of the finals, Tim Duncan.
I got to put up with him all year long. Well, as he said, thank you so much. Your support was so incredible. You gave us this incredible home court advantage that we absolutely needed, and you took us all the way to the top. Thank you so much.
San Antonio, let me hear ya! Thanks, guys.
What a great moment for this city. What a great moment for Tim and Bruce sharing this moment here together tonight where Tim, 3-time NBA champion, 3-time NBA Finals MVP. And I tell you what, when they had to have him, he stepped up big time. Remember, he had struggled with free throws the entire series, but when it counted, when it mattered the most, Game 7, everything is on the line. He was 5 for 5 before he missed his last and his final free throw to finish with 5 and 6. So you got to say a lot about a guy who will step up in a gut check time just like that and wind up winning another world championship for the San Antonio Spurs.
All right, we're going to go to break. We will be right back. Stay with us.
There's a celebration underway in Texas, a party that lasts a whole year. You'll find it everywhere you go in this great state. In towns, big and small, for every Texan, whatever they do, wherever they call home. In short, you'll find this celebration everywhere you find an H-E-B, because H-E-B has been a part of Texas for 100 years. Since our first store opened in Kerrville in 1905, we've been proud to serve our fellow Texans who made us who we are today. So to say thanks, we're throwing a party, and all of Texas is cordially invited. We'll have great games and giveaways all year long at every H-E-B. Yep, it's going to be one heck of a party. H-E-B's Celebration 100. To our partners and to our customers, it's our way of saying much obliged. Because of you, Texas, here everything's better.
This is KSAT 12's instant coverage. Parade of Champions.
Here's Bowen, and we've got a foul. Offensive. And Ginobili's hurt. Yes, he did. He got it right in the knee.
Oh, that was a sorry moment there when Manu went down. We knew we needed him, and he made a comeback, although some said that in the next game he was a little bit off. I promised you the Deo Banana Boat Dance song, so bear with me. Deo, me say day, me say day, me say Deo. Game is done and we want to go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me three-pointer. Day is done and we want to go home. Come, Mr. Referee, and tally me fast break points. Day is done and we want to go home. Day-o. That's it.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Once again, another high five for Steve Brown, who kept the rattle alive. And by the way, I got to show you this rattle. I don't know if you've seen this thing, but he was injured. Will 70, the Spurs trainer, immediately taped him up, sent him back at the game, and he stayed with us all the way through this season. So that was great fun for everybody. Steve, you've done a great job this season for us, and it's been fun celebrating this. But you know what? We're just getting started. You know what? We're going to take you all the way down the river. We're not just stopping here. This is where you got to actually hear the players stop. But you'll see fans line all the way down this Riverwalk here for the next couple of miles. So we'll be able to take you through that as well. You'll get to see people cheer the trophy. And what's even more amazing here is you got to see all three championship trophies on board. You got to see 1999, you got to see 2003, and of course you got to see the most important one. That was 2005. And the only reason I say most important one, because I got to tell you, as a fan first here, after watching the win in 1999, you can of course change that. But at the same time, I thought 2005 was so hard fought, came down to the last second. I think it just meant a lot to us who had followed this team over the years and watch them have to work that hard against a great team, and a team I think we're going to see again.
Can't take it away from Detroit. Detroit was a great team. Very good opponents, and Ben Wallace was awesome. But we beat them, Greg.
We beat them, and we beat them in 7 games, and when it counted the most. All right. Steve and Leslie have been standing by at the Alamo Dome. They've been watching the River Parade. Guys, I got to get your first impressions so far and what we can expect here in the next hour.
Greg, it was like we were there listening to your coverage, and then here at the Dome, people were reacting when the players were talking. People were reacting, yelling, "Go Spurs, go," yelling MVP when Tim Duncan took the floor, or when Tim Duncan took the mic. And I've got to tell you, the bottom bowl here at the Dome is almost completely full, and on the north end, they are starting to sit in the upper levels here at the Alamo Dome. There's still plenty of seats left, but the bottom bowl is almost completely full at this hour.
You know, it was amazing watching the actual River Parade going by, and when they would hold up the championship trophy, this dome would rock. People would scream at the top of their lungs. Their arms were going in the air. It has been an amazing experience to watch it with these thousands of fans here.
Yeah, and we're going to move out of the way, and I'm going to let Dale kind of pan around to some of the crowd that's down on the floor and get you an idea of exactly what we're looking at here at the Alamo Dome. You can see all the people across the way as they are getting ready for this celebration. As I said, 2 years ago when we were here at the Dome, they played the final 2 quarters of the clinching game for the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm hoping that they're going to do that again. Obviously, they're reacting now to somebody talking at the arena. Actually, they're reacting to a shot inside the arena of themselves.
I don't even know if you can hear us over the screams. I can barely hear us over the screams at home, but I'm not kidding you, thousands of people. And on the south side, which is actually going to be where the backs of the Spurs will mostly be, still filling up and almost to the top level already.
And Robert Ory, I think we were seeing from another one of our cameras along the parade route. Big shot, Rob. And to give you an idea, this place will erupt, not when the Spurs take the stage, not when the Spurs start talking. It's going to erupt the minute those trolleys, the VIA trolleys, pull up through the south end of the Alamo Dome off the loading dock there. This place will be pandemonium. I said it, you know, in 03. I said it in 99. The Dome will be rocking tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there will be a seat left in the house by the time the rally starts at 9 o'clock. But we are going to be here. We're going to continue covering the parade for you. We're also going to keep you posted on what's happening here at the Alamo Dome.
But right now, we're going to throw it to break, and we'll be right back with more coverage of our Parade of Champions. We'll see you right back here.
See you in just a few.
This is KSAT 12's instant coverage. Parade of Champions.
Here's Bowen, and we've got a foul. Offensive. And Ginobili's hurt. Yes, he did.
Good evening, everybody. We are coming to you live from the Alamo Dome as thousands of fans are on the river watching the barges go by. Thousands of other fans have gathered here to welcome the players back in when the trolleys arrive.
Absolutely, but the parade's still going on along the Riverwalk. That's where our Mark Austin and Mike Osterhage are live outside the Hard Rock Cafe, a little farther down the parade route. Let's tune in with those guys.
Yeah, we've just seen Coach Pop come by, the coaching staff of the San Antonio Spurs. We'll kind of set the scene for you here. Mike Osterhage along with me right down here in the middle of the Riverwalk. We're out basically County Line Barbecue. Right across the way here is Dick's Last Resort. And we are waiting for the next bars to come by.
You know, it was amazing. Even though we're further down the parade route, the enthusiasm, I think, is growing as the parade goes on. The roar when Tony Parker first came by was just deafening. And then when Coach Pop came by, he was bowing to the crowd. The crowd just went absolutely bananas as they are doing right now. And what's amazing, when you look across the river, you would think there were banks here. People are standing on the tables. And here comes another barge.
It is literally standing room only out here. I don't want anybody to get in the river tonight. How about that? Nobody goes in the river.
No, let's hope not. Here's the Spurs band. The fans down here are just fantastic. They are calm, reserved, and then all of a sudden, when a barge full of their Spurs comes by, they go nuts.
That's right. And we've got people out here. Just a little while ago when Beno Udrih came by, Brent Berry tapped him on the shoulder and said, Beno, you've got a fan over here. Somebody had a giant poster board that says, I love Beno. Beno turned around and I think he blew her a kiss.
The fans, to try and bide time out here, have been having competitions across the river. Who has more Spurs spirit? Who has more enthusiasm? They've been trying to get Go Spurs Go going back and forth here, no matter who it is coming by on these barges.
This is the Spurs staff, Mike, right here. The many folks, whole lot of people that work for the Spurs behind the scenes here. They come on by, and they're getting just as much as applause as the players. Excuse me, ma'am.
Anything that has to do with Spurs here, they are loving it.
We've got people from out of town that are accidental tourists came in even before this started coming up. Hey guys, what's going on down here tonight? Where are you from? Beaumont? Oh, you're about to see a Spurs championship celebration.
I was talking with a woman who said she just got back from England just in time to see the fourth quarter of the final game, and she said that over there the Spurs, given the fact that she was from San Antonio, they wanted to hear all about the Spurs.
Yep, absolutely. And I ran into a family. They're right next to me from Temple, and you guys came down just for this, right?
Right on, right on. Go Spurs, go.
Yeah, that's what we came down here for.
So like a little mini family vacation?
Pretty much.
Okay, so did you guys have this planned all along? I mean, were you kind of...
It didn't matter what day of the week. We were going to come down for the championship.
Well, welcome to San Antonio, and I hope you guys enjoy your stay.
Thank you.
All right. Here's one of the best T-shirts on this gentleman behind me here. I haven't seen one yet with the picture of the team on there.
Yeah.
How many T-shirts do you have with championships on them?
I got 3 T-shirts with championships on them, and we got 2 more coming.
2 more coming, you think?
Is this the one with the jerseys on the back too?
No.
No, just the front. Yeah. Okay, got the whole team here.
We're good for 2 more championships, I guarantee it.
Well, it's
only 2?
Only
Maybe
2.
3.
Maybe 3.
Yeah,
okay.
with
For sure.
Well, with like Tony and Manu and Tim signed through about 2010, why not, right?
Right.
Waiting on our next barge down here, and again, if you're just now joining us, we're down with a bunch of folks. This is right here in front of what used to be Fat Tuesday. The upper level goes on around towards Hard Rock. Down below is County Line. And then we showed you the people over at Dick's Last Resort with all their people and feet in the water.
And we're about at street level right here, so we have about 3 levels. They are just going nuts.
So right now we're waiting for Manu and Sean Marsh to come by with that 2003 trophy right now. Everybody standing by. Talk about patio dining at its finest. All the restaurants along here told folks there will be no outdoor dining after about 1:30 today. But we saw some amazing racks of ribs coming out right before this started.
I almost jumped off the balcony here. The ribs look so good coming out to these people. But again, I'm saying we have about 3 floors of fans here. We are almost at street level, the folks down on the Riverwalk level. And then, of course, they are up on the balconies all around here. 8, 9 thick, 8 deep with people, and they are some of the best fans in the world. They wait very patiently. A lot of folks have been down here since at least about 3:30 or earlier than that.
They told people not to show up till about 4 o'clock, but we know there were people well in advance of that. You saw some white chairs down below us here. People came down a while ago to grab the free seats. The white chairs right below us cost $20 a piece, but that's pretty good. I'd spend it.
Which is not bad to have a front row seat right here. And again, you were talking about how some of the folks on the other seat, on the other side, are just kind of dangling their toes in the water. And it is extremely pleasant. We were talking about how they put off the parade a couple of hours from the last 2. The weather has been very cooperative. I know it's hot and humid. We've got a great breeze down here.
Of course, we're saying that from the luxury of a shade of a tree that we've had all afternoon. So we're lucky guys. We're not down for other river or the Arneson where they were out there baking in the sun a little while ago.
Indeed. And of course, we are waiting on the next float, which is going to be Peter and Juliana Holt, as well as Manu Ginobili, the man.
Spider-Man just showed up. That guy had to come up about 7 feet just to get up here. You got on TV, pal. Way to go.
Scared me, and I thought the float just came by with that one.
Well, we're still waiting, though, that's for sure. And we've got crews all along the Riverwalk down here. In just a little while, we're going to be passing along to Jenny Davis down at the SBC building.
And there's the fans of Bano. I love Bano.
There's the sign I was talking about. See, I'm not crazy. There's the I love Bano sign. You would think we just won the championship again. These people are so excited. And what I love about this town, people ask me all the time, what's it like living in San Antonio? And I say, it's like living in a big, small town. And it does have that feel tonight.
Oh, indeed. And by looking at this crowd, you would think that this was just the first championship because the enthusiasm, the novelty is there with all these folks. It could be the 20th championship, which would be nice.
Right.
And they're going to have the same enthusiasm.
And we're not just patting ourselves on the back. We were talking to our sister station, WDIB, up in Detroit. And their morning anchor told us the other morning that San Antonio, the team, and the fans are a class act all the way.
You look at how they celebrated the other night. Downtown, cruising down on Commerce and Market Streets. And that is the chant that we know so well. But as folks were cruising around downtown, nobody did anything wrong. Everybody, as I can't say it enough, has been so patient, so good down here, and just having a great time.
And last estimate we heard, and of course this was just an estimate, that roughly about 250,000 people were going to line the Riverwalk at some point, and then factor in the 60 or 65,000 people over at the Alamo Dome, and I'm sure glad they opened that curtain up, packed those folks in. They're watching this live right now at the Dome, and we want to say a big hello to all the Spurs fans and people from South Texas inside the Dome.
Indeed, with the estimate of the championship night, about 400,000 people, they say, went downtown. Add to that another 300,000 down here. So almost the entire population of the city is enjoying this at some way, shape, or form.
I'm seeing T-shirts that I've never seen before in my life. They're coming out of the woodwork right now. If you were at a local sporting goods store today, say Oshman's or Academy, something like, seemed like the whole city was out buying their shirts, caps, pennants, magnets, stickers. Coming out of the woodwork today, line was, I went to the one at 281-1604, and the line was about 15 deep in every aisle. They had security on hand to keep an eye on all the shirts because they're having a run on shirts.
And I would have to say that more than half the people, probably about 2/3 of the people, have some sort of Spurs attire on in some way, shape, or form, be it a new shirt, an old shirt, the little ones, the babies.
Well,
everybody likes this except for the little guys.
It's okay, come on by, guys. Come on by. It's a little noisy down here. We got a mom and a baby coming by, a little family here. Come on by, guys, here. We'll get out of your way. It's tough to move down here. As a matter of fact, on the Dick's Last Resort side, which Sal is showing you right now, standing room only, and there is no movement over there except from the crowd and the crazy waiters over there at Dick's.
You know, some of the facts and figures that have to go with this championship. Since the 79-80 season, only 7 teams in the NBA, in the entire league, have won the championship. Of course, the Spurs have won it 3 times, and they rank up there with the Pistons, the Lakers, as well as the Bulls, who won it more than 2 times.
You bet. I can't believe we've got this much of a lull here. We're kind of tap dancing just a little bit right now. What's that?
Is it over?
It's not over yet. It's not over yet. We're just kind of hanging out.
Well, I'm sure with the fan base that Manu Ginobili has, I saw one gal wearing a T-shirt along the lines of the Got Milk campaign that said Got Manu.
I've seen that. I've seen Got Ori. And, of course, the Got Ori shirts came out right after Game 5 when he made the clutch three-pointer.
And, you know, Robert Horry is #1 in the NBA in finals three-point shots. He's made about 53 of them in the finals. Tim Duncan ranks about 2nd as far as block shots go with 58.
No barge yet. No barge.
No barge yet. Okay.
I know a handful of stats, but I know the San Antonio's up there right now. Forget the naysayers who say this is not a dynasty. Yes, this is a dynasty in the making. Amazing enough, how thrilling for us. We've been here for all 3 of them.
Indeed, 2 times in the past 3 years, 3 times just in the past 7 years, winning the championship, and everybody wanted Shaquille O'Neal. They wanted a Miami Lakers championship, but no, this was just a good, hard-fought championship
Mike,
this time
we
around.
have barge. We have barge. Sal, come on up here. We'll get out of the way and let you zoom in here on the next barge coming down the way. Grab a number as it comes very slowly. Some of these barges have been going fast. Some of them have been going slow. This one is certainly taking its time as it comes around the bend here. I see white T-shirts. I can't see a number.
It is Peter and Juliana Holt, and of course, Manu Ginobili and Sean Marks are on this one. And just listen, the roar from this crowd
I was gonna say,
is going to peak in just a second.
Just for a second, we are going to let it just go. Cheer of MVP for Manu Ginobili right now, holding the 2003 Spurs championship trophy.
Yeah, this is number 2. Tim Duncan, of course, has the current trophy. There he is, right up front. How that little baby on that barge can sleep through it all,
and
I don't
very
know.
back of the barge in the sunglasses, Sean Marks, who didn't get it, I don't think any playing time in the playoffs, but played some during the regular season. Standout player, Sean Marks, number 4 on the Spurs roster. Sights and sounds of San Antonio, welcome to your Parade of Champions, South Texas. Right now, we're live on the Riverwalk as we continue our KSAT 12 team coverage of the 2005 title.
As loud as it was for Manu coming by, for Robert Horry, the first barge that came by with Tony Parker on it, and of course Eva Longoria, when Tim Duncan and Bruce Bowen come down here, it is going to be literally deafening.
All right, here comes another one. This is more of the Spurs coaching staff, including
General Manager, Senior Vice President, R.C. Buford.
R.C. Buford, that's right. Many of the staff, a lot of family and friends on that barge as well.
Former player Danny Ferry, who's involved in the Spurs front office.
Director of basketball operations. You'll recognize Danny Ferry, of course, is just, as soon as you see him, he had about as much hair as I do. Where is Danny?
And there, of course, is R.C. Buford.
R.C. standing up.
Not in the T-shirt.
Not in the T-shirt. Coming through, pardon me.
And then the question is whether Danny Ferry is going to be going to the Cleveland Cavaliers organization.
I didn't see Danny on that one. Did you see him?
I'm sorry?
I didn't see Danny on that one.
I didn't either.
If you're keeping track right now, folks, we have roughly 25 barges in all. That was number 21 by my count.
Next barge we are waiting on are a lot of the city officials, including new mayor Phil Hardberger. It must be nice to be sworn in as mayor, and then just, what, a week or two later, your team wins a championship.
That's right. Number 23, my list here is more Spurs staff. More people behind the scenes. You may not know their faces, but you certainly know their work. That's what I love about this. People are cheering, waving at them, just like they would the players or coaches.
Yeah, anything that has to do with Spurs, and of course that's what makes this organization so great. Of course, the stars, the superstars, the coaching staff, but it takes a lot of folks behind the scenes to make a team like this.
If you're not down here right now, it is a gorgeous evening here in San Antonio. A gorgeous breeze has just picked up right down here on the Riverwalk, which can occasionally be stifling in the summertime.
That was one of the concerns because the humidity has been going up a little bit as well. But yeah, the trees are blowing down here. The sun is behind the building, so we don't have to worry about anything as of right now.
Next up, Mike, number 24. This is a bunch of Texas public officials, including Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf, the Coliseum Advisory Board Chairman Dan Puckett and wife Jerry. And there's our new mayor, Phil Hardberger, with his wife Linda, City Council members Roger Flores, Sheila McNeil, and Roland Gutierrez. Mayor Hardberger getting to enjoy the spoils of our home team.
Yes, indeed. And here comes, down the river, listen to the roar of the crowd, Tim Duncan and Bruce Bowen.
We're going to let this one go, folks. Listen in. Trophy from the other night. I do not see the MVP trophy on board. Do you? Did you see him? Yeah, we didn't see the MVP trophy on there. Okay, we're going to ask the guys to move back just a little bit here, guys.
They're slowing it down a little bit
down here, so everybody
the fans can get a good look.
Get a good look at Tim Duncan and that brand new NBA championship trophy.
And of course, only one of 4 guys to get 3 MVPs.
Well, guys, it's been a blast down here. We're going to wrap it up from our location, and I think I heard we're tossing it back to the Dome. All right, that's where we're going. It's been a blast, guys. Back to you, Steve.
Go, Spurs, go.
Stephen Leslie.
All right, Mark and Mike, thank you very much, guys. Great job down there catching the Manu, catching the MVP, catching the mayor.
You know what, Steve? If I didn't know better, I would think I was at a Spurs game right now. As a matter of fact, if you look behind us, and you look on the Jumbotron, it is the second half of Game 7 playing right now. So this crowd is going nuts.
Yeah, they are starting to play, I believe, the final quarter of the of Game 7 here on the Jumbotron. Should be quite exciting. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more of our Parade of Champions coverage right here on KSAT 12.
Stay with us.
This is KSAT 12's instant coverage. Parade of Champions.
When the home team won only 55% of the games. The home cooking makes the difference here, and Detroit is at home and quenched with the stuff to make it a 16-point game. I've been waiting.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back live to the Alamo Dome. I'm Leslie Mouton, along with Steve Spriester and thousands upon thousands of die-hard Spurs fans.
Yeah, we are reliving Game 7. The third and fourth quarters being played behind us on the Jumbotron right now. But the parade is not over. Let's go farther down the parade route to our Jenny Davis, who is at SBC headquarters, with an update on exactly what she's seeing. Jenny?
Well, we are right along the parade route, and what we are waiting for right now is barge number 20, and that is the one that a lot of people want to see, because that's Manu Ginobili and Sean Marks are on this. Over here to my right, I've got 2 Ginobili fans right here. Are y'all ready to see that barge come along?
Yes.
Who's your favorite one?
Ginobili.
Okie dokie. So is this what you've been waiting for?
Yes.
Okie doke. Well, a lot of people have been lining the the banks here since about 2 or 3 o'clock, and as you can see, a lot of the barges are already starting to come back. They've let a lot of the people that they had on there go, and they're heading back. People that were on board obviously are heading to the Alamo Dome. But I want to tell you, a little earlier, it was kind of funny that this poor soul was walking down there in a Lakers jersey, and he was booed out of here. Nobody wanted to see that, and he just pretty much walked away because he wasn't welcome around here. That was about 30 minutes ago, but people are obviously getting anxious down here waiting to see a lot of the floats. We have about 5 or 6 left. Now I noticed you brought your 2 kids here. Kind of hot out of here, but is it well worth it?
Oh yeah, it's worth it, yeah.
What about you? I know you have a big crowd here too.
Oh yeah, it's very worth it. Go Spurs!
Woo! Is it what, I mean, were you here in 2003? Did you see that one?
No, we weren't here. This is our first time.
Enjoying it.
Yeah.
What about you? How long have you been out here?
I don't know.
You don't know how long you've been out here? How long have you been out here?
To 12.
Here we go. Here's another barge that's heading back. Now we have 4 more floats after Manu's float gets over here, and that's going to be the coaching staff. You've already seen a lot of them. We're going to have the Bear County Judge Nelson Wolf will be on another one. And then, of course, the finale, Tim Duncan and his wife, Bruce Bowen. But everybody's pretty patient. There's spurts. People start the Go Spurs Go, and I'm starting to hear the horns. Sounds like the float that everybody want to see is coming up. Let me see if I can sneak around here and see that.
Go Spurs, go! 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 Go Spurs, go!
Most of these barges are pretty, they wrapped up about, I'd say about 20 minutes ago. The first barge came along here about an hour ago, and it looks like the barges are starting to speed up. They're probably trying to keep on schedule here, but here it comes. The fans are really starting to get crazy here. It looks like the number 20 barge is coming along the bend here. You told me you came in 2003, or you went to the Alamo Dome in 2003. How was that?
It was nice. We just didn't have very good seats, so we can see a lot more from here than we can.
And that's a really good point. There really isn't a bad seat along the river here. Everybody has a good seat.
Right, right.
How long have you been here?
We've been here today about 3 hours.
3 hours. See, that's how long people have been waiting around here. 3 to 4 hours. They said you really couldn't mark your spot anytime before 4 o'clock, but there were certainly people here before 4 o'clock just hoping to get a good seat. And if you can see along the river, a lot of these people are in the shade, so that's definitely another good thing. And here it comes, barge number 20. Let's listen in. Manu is talking. and Juliana Hull. Now that's about as excited as I've heard the fans get this entire time, and obviously there's a couple more left, and the one that a lot of people are waiting for is Tim Duncan. And we have another one coming along here. This is the Spurs coaching staff.
Something neat. Tonight is for the fans, but after we get all the festivities over with, I think we'll be able to relax and enjoy.
Give us a hint. What's that going to be like? What are you going to do?
It'll probably involve something cold and a comfortable seat. That's all I need.
How much sleep have you gotten?
Pretty good. I mean, just had pretty much a normal day yesterday. We had some business of basketball that we still had to attend to as a team, doing physicals and taking care of some things and making sure that we're ready for today and the festivities. But like I said, I think after we're all done here tonight, guys, we'll let loose and enjoy and rip up the town a bit.
Any big plans for the summer?
Get ready for next year. You know, this is the shortest summer that I've had in a long time, so just prepare and try to get ready for next year.
Have you rubbed it into your brother?
What's that?
Have you rubbed it into your brother?
No, I would never do that. Hey, John. No, I would never do it.
The shortest but the sweetest of summer?
Absolutely. You know, it'll be nice to get home, see some other family and friends, but, you know, get back to work in a few weeks.
With all the turmoil of everything that you had to endure with moving the family and what, I mean, does this make it all worth it and trying to...
Just the fact that, you know, 8 short months ago, I was at home thinking about opportunity, you know, the opportunity to play and be part of something special and maybe have a chance to win an NBA championship, and for all those things to come true is really something sweet. You know, not a lot of people get a chance to live and work in a dream environment, and to be able to choose that and to be able to surround yourself with people who you respect and you admire and to be able to do something together, that's what makes it sweet.
Thanks, Coach. All right, that's Brent Barry live at the Southwest Arts and Crafts Center down there on the corner of St. Mary's and Navarro Street. You see lots of the Spurs fans gathering around as the players get off the barges. They get off the bus there. I think the Spurs may have a little dinner there at Club Giroux, and then they will make their way here to the Alamo Dome for a celebration that will start between about an hour from now and 9 o'clock. Our Jeff Coyle is live down on the floor of the Alamo Dome, as some of these fans have been waiting since 10 o'clock this morning to see their heroes address the crowd here at the Alamo Dome. Let's head down to the floor and Jeff Coyle. Jeff?
That's right, Don, and they've gotten a little treat here. Just a few moments ago, they started playing Game 7 again here up on the video screens. They started it right at the beginning of the third quarter. Detroit just took its 9-point lead. This is the point when we were all sitting here going, oh no. And then slowly the Spurs are going to fight back, and everybody in here is watching this game and cheering again. And yet another reason why Game 7 was so important to San Antonio. Had the Spurs won Tuesday night in Game 6, this entire event would have been held in the SBC Center. There was a Taekwondo championship here all week long. They just got out of here this morning. So had the games not gone to Game 7, they would have held this in the SBC Center, would have seated about maybe 20,000, I think 18 plus. There were 20,000 people here at 5 o'clock this afternoon. It's easily twice that now. We've got people up in the upper decks at this point, and it's got the feeling of the old Spurs games in the Alamo Dome. I mean, the wave's been going all the way around the arena. Everybody's cheering. Just take a look at the size of the crowd here. I mean, it's just incredible. You heard the Congressman Gonzalez saying a few minutes ago that nothing brings us together like the Spurs. It is so true. It is such a beautiful thing to see. All of these people from all sides of town, all ages, excited to be here, happy, slapping each other fives again, watching this game. And boy, I don't know if you guys can see it from where you are, Don and Dave, but it is a lot of fun watching this Game 7 again.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jeff. I think that the Alamo Dome about more than halfway full, about 40,000, maybe 45, and this place will continue to fill up as people leave their parade route and start to head on their way over here to Durango Street. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll hear from more of your Spurs and check in with Tim Duncan as he makes his way down to the lagoon right after this.
And Tim and Bruce have really revved up the crowd.
Camera, Tim Duncan overcoming a lot of adversity just in the finals. There were people all over this country ready to second-guess his legacy, ready to second-guess his superstardom, waiting to see if he would come through in Game 7. I think it was a career-defining moment for Tim Duncan in Game 7 to explode the way he did in the late third quarter and the early fourth quarter and lead the Spurs to their third championship in 7 years. Only Tim Duncan and Bill Russell, they're the only two players in history who have won championships after losing all 11 other players. There's not a single Spur left from the 1999 championship team, and Tim Duncan is still a champion with a whole new crew.
I can remember you and I sitting in the sports office back in 1997 when the Spurs won the lottery to get Tim Duncan, and you making a statement then, they just won a championship. My question to you, my friend, did you think at that moment they had won 3 NBA championships?
No, I thought it was, being a San Antonian, you always think that there's hope for a championship. You always think that you would contend for a championship. But I would never have thought in 1997 that they would win 3, because David Robinson and Avery Johnson and Sean Elliott were towards the end of their careers. And who ever thought that the Spurs would find a guy named Tony Parker late in the first round, a guy named Manu Ginobili with the 57th pick that same summer of '99, who stayed over and played in Europe, and that those guys would become as good as they've become. It's Tim Duncan's title, it's Tim Duncan's MVP, but the Spurs would not be champions without a little luck and a lot of hard work with that scouting department.
Yeah, and let's wrap up this one topic one last time with the Manu Tim MVP type angle. You Tim fans out there, make no mistake, this is still Tim Duncan's franchise. They will go as far as Tim Duncan can take them, but it helps him as a superstar, like all the other great superstars in this league. And of course, Tim, as we see him
showing a little personality,
he and Bruce are having fun.
Timmy was getting jiggy.
Bruce is closer to Tim's age than either Manu or Tony Parker as well. And they get each other. They both really, you and I know them both, have that same kind of personality.
Bruce Bowen is really enjoying it. He hasn't stopped dancing, he hasn't stopped joking, he hasn't stopped talking. But Bruce Bowen not stopping talking is nothing new. Bruce Bowen talks all the time. He enjoys it, and he's a lot of fun and one of the most fun Spurs to be around. Tim taking a little bit of a break, sitting down, enjoying this adulation. Although admittedly, he's a little uncomfortable with attention, but I don't think I've ever seen Tim smile this much in one 30-minute period all season.
Well, and think about this. Think about him and Manu and the relief it must be for them, because this has been a year-round basketball game, basically. They went from one season to the Olympics, now to another season, now to an unbelievably full postseason that the finals were stretched to 7 games. This has got to be just sheer joy, not so much the fact that they won a championship, although they're excited about that, but the fact that they get the next couple of months off and they can think about something other than basketball for a little while. And of course, Tim Duncan, he's going to have a couple of late nights and early mornings in his future coming up, because he and his wife Amy, as has been well documented, are expecting their first child any day now.
Very, very soon. So Tim's the last player barge. He's getting off the boat. He will make his way to the Southwest Arts and Crafts Center. We will take a break, and when we come back, maybe we'll hear from Manu and Tim right there live at the Southwest Crafts Center. We know we'll hear from him here at the Alamo Dome. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.